So, good evening. I want to welcome everyone to this evening's review and also welcome our new board member, Matthew Walwork, who is joining us for the first time. Matthew owns King and Gardens and has been involved with the preservation there, and we are happy to have him join the board. We'll do roll call to begin with. Susan Aiken will be recused at this first portion of the review because she is involved with it. Will join us after for the El Churro review. So roll call: Siri Trumbuller.
Present.
Christopher Doman.
Present.
Holly Freitas. Holly?
Here. Yeah, I'm here.
There you go. Juhi.
Here.
Alex Oberlich.
Here.
Anita Rankin.
Present.
And Matthew Walwork.
Here. Thank you, guys.
So, has anyone had the chance to take a look at the minutes from and the LAR report from the July 30th review? And if so, can we have a motion?
I move to accept the minutes as written.
That's a second. You can second it.
I'll second. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Do we need to do a roll call for that?
You can do roll call, or you can just do, ayes and nays.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll do a general call to the audience. And then we'll proceed to turn the screen over to Angel Neblis, who is the contractor who is going to do the presentation for the carport. Desiree, have you turned this over to Angel?
Yes, so Angel, you can go ahead and share your screen.
Okay.
Again, that green button at the bottom.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And again, my name is Angel Niebles. I'm the co-owner of A-Pro Restoration. We were contracted by Ms. Susan Aiken and her daughter to replace a carport that is in the back of their house that is attached to an old garage. It is it's an adobe garage that's in the back of the house that was built around the 1930s. The carport behind the adobe garage, it's in an area where it's not seen from the street and from either way, from either the west side or the north side, since the house is on the corner. That carport was very badly. Excuse me. Oh, I thought somebody was trying to say something. I'm sorry. The carport was badly deteriorated and it was unsafe, and it was a single carport. But right next to it, there used to be back in when they bought the house, when Susan's husband bought the house, there was another carport, another parking structure there that was also unsafe, and they removed it. And if you see on this picture, is the area that's in the back of the house. Is the garage and the carport, and to the left of that, I don't know if you can see, there is a it's like a metal frame that used to be another parking structure. And I learned this through conversations with Miss Aiken, and they removed that because it was unsafe. So when we went to do the replacement of the carport, she wanted us to do to put another bay, which would replace the one that used to be there, the metal one. And the area that is being covered by this carport, it is actually less area than it used to be. It used to be with the previous carport and the metal structure. because the other one came all the way up to the fence of the neighbor. Let me see. What else? What else? What else? So, like I said, I was able to learn some stuff about this house from conversations through with Miss Aiken. Some of you might already know this because you've known Susan for a while. But the house was built in 1898. Um, it was it belonged to a businessman named Hugo Sackendorf, um, part of the Steinfeld family. Became the resident of Miss Annie, who used to be Sam Hughes and former Governor Lewis Hughes' sister. Um, then it was owned by the Flores family, which owned the ironworks, Flores Ironworks. That was, I guess, a big business in Tucson. I'm not familiar with it, but I guess they were in Tucson for over a century. Um, they did some renovations to the house. They added some more rooms. At one point, it was going to be demolished to make room for the aviation highway, but then it wasn't. And then the city of Tucson bought it and sold it to get it to see if somebody wanted to renovate it. And um, Miss Miss Aiken and her husband bought it, and it took them a few years to get it to where it is. But like I said, the let me see. I can show you where the other pictures. So here, can you guys see this?
Yes.
Okay. So over on the right-hand side, that's where it's the storage, it's a garage. Then there's a carport, and then that area that is next to the right of it, that's where we did the other bay, and it's still about 4 feet from the fence, 4 or 5 feet from the fence where it says metal right there. Well, I guess this. I should have showed you this when I was talking. This is about when the house was first built and some time ago. That's what the house used to look like when they bought it. Um, this is the cardboard that was there. Um, in fact, before we tore it down, I told Susan's daughter not to park under it because, I mean, she's got a nice car, and I would have hated for that to have fallen on it. But so we did 2 bays on it, and it's and like I said, it's about 4 to 5 feet away from the fence. This garage, this carport was actually closed on both the east and the south side. The one we have is only attached to the garage on the west side, so it's open on the other three areas, three sides. This is a view from the street. Of course, you can't see in the back over there. Here's another one right a little bit south on the south side of the house. You can, if you zoom in, you can see an area over there where you can see part of the garage, but you can't see the carport. The carport was built using 2x6 wood for the roof, and with 4x4s. Right here we have it's an 8x24 inch deep concrete base with a 4x4 metal bracket and 4x4 posts. The roof consists of 2x4 wood, and it has 3/4 inch OSB on top with a membrane and 3 coats of elastomeric roof coating. It has on the elevation here, let me see. I don't have that other one. So on the elevation picture, which I should have had, I don't know. I apologize. It's not there, but
I
so I
have
have.
it, if you want me to share it.
Yeah, that would be great if you
Okay.
could.
Yeah, let me just open it up real quick.
When I was putting all these together, it didn't transfer over. I'm sorry.
No worries. Okay, let me just go to it.
That one. Okay. So we have a total of 6 posts that are in the middle and to the east of it, to the left of it, and they're 4x4, holding a 4x8 beam that is holding 2x6 rafters that are attached to the garage on the west side, and it has a foot overhang on the east side, when it has a foot overhang on the north and the south side also. They're 24 inches on center. Right now, it is not painted because we halted progress on it until this got approved. But it will be painted, and to protect it from the elements. And it is it has the 2-inch metal flashing with 1x3 wood furring strip, and I don't know what else to tell you. That's about the extent of what I've done and what I'm capable of telling you. Just the next picture, if you the one with the, let me see if you have that one right there. So that's the way it sits right now. So we just need to paint it and get it protected from the elements. Other than that, that's it. There is some there were some sorry. There are some pictures that I have. I guess you have them after these pictures, Desiree, of the other garages in the area that that I don't know, but as an example for president, there's that one, and I think there's a couple more. Ours is a little. I mean, ours it's there is not a big, huge change in the design. It's just that we added a new bay. But other than that, that's it. And that is a map that Jason did. Yeah. And I apologize. I've never done a review like this. If I'm
You've
lacking.
done a great job. Thank you.
Sorry.
Questions from the board?
Yes, thank you for that presentation. It was clear. Would you share the site plan, please? A drawing where we can see the relationship of the carport, of the new carport to the
house.
existing carport to the neighboring lot lines.
Okay, give me 1 second. That would be this one right here. Let me see. This one right here.
Yes, and just for context, so we're being brought on at this point, even though construction has already begun, we're being brought on at this point because you were asked to stop construction because why?
Because we needed a permit, and so we stopped everything to go through we started going through the city for the permits and everything. And I don't know exactly, like I said, I've never done this, so I don't know at what point the historic review board was notified of this. But this is where we are in relation to. Here, I'm trying to put it together. I can't. Okay, so the storage is right here. The carport is right there. The other one is a little bit bigger because we added another bay, and they're not big bays. I only made them 8 feet wide, barely to fit a car, because they didn't want to get too close to the neighboring, so we don't get too close to the neighbor's fence.
The existing building that you're attaching your new carport to, is that indicated here in this drawing as storage?
Yes.
And then the new carport that you're adding, is that indicated here as carport?
Yes. So yeah.
And what's indicated here as carport, does that describe fully the entirety of what you are proposing to build or continue building?
No, what we're going to continue to build, or what we built already, is I wouldn't say it's twice the size of that, but it's a little bit bigger, because it covers a little bit of that area to the right where it says carport, to that corner, it covers a little more, and it's made for 2 vehicles.
And do you have a drawing? Go ahead.
I was gonna just add. So we have requested from the applicant a before and after existing proposed site plan, and we haven't received that yet. So that is
Okay.
something that we'll need, Angel, before we can move forward. And so the chair was okay with bringing this forward as the materials that we had for this evening, but we
Okay.
will need a proper kind of site plan, and so
Okay.
we're able to provide assistance and guidance on that.
Okay, and can I use this site plan and modify it?
Yeah, this
And
would
submit
be a
it?
good yes.
Okay.
I think like
Right.
the format that it is, it looks like a photo. Like we would need need it as an actual kind of
No, yeah,
drawing. Yeah. Okay.
I can make it. Yeah, I can modify it and then send it, and yeah, I can do that, and I can do that tomorrow. That's not a problem.
Okay.
And-
Yeah.
And
Go
we
ahead.
should remember that the original double bay, one of them being funky metal, actually was almost to the lot line, and the setting for this is less than that. But historically, the two structures attached to the garage went almost to the lot line.
Yeah, it goes about 5 feet from the lot line. I don't.
Right. So this is smaller.
Yeah.
I have a question too. Is there a required setback from the back property line by the city code? Or
I
what
don't-
would be, what would be the required setback, if any? Even though
I don't know if there is,
storage
but
loan-
I can tell you that the storage, the garage, where it says storage, that comes right to the lot line. The wall in the back, it comes right to the lot line. But then again, that was built 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And that is a good question, though, and something that, so as I mentioned this to you, Angel,
Yeah.
if there's a larger setback required than what you have, I think you mentioned about 4 feet, you can actually request normally you would need to go through the variance process, but through the historic review process, you can get essentially that variance. So that
Okay.
is something that you would want feedback on this evening if people are okay with the setback, but we need to know what that setback is. So is it 4 feet?
I
Or is
don't know what the setback is. I would have to go measure it. I don't have it in front of me. I don't, but I can take care of that tomorrow.
Yeah, I have something else to note too. There are a couple of other garages on the same block, right next door to my house on Main.
Mm-hmm.
And actually my own garage goes right to the property line, and it's an old house.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to have been allowed in the past. So maybe that exception would pertain to this.
Yeah. So
Yeah, one of the pictures that we showed over there, the one that has the entrance from the street, that has a carport that also goes to the property line of the neighbors. So I don't know.
any other comments, questions?
I have a question. This is Holly Freitas. So the storage, I know we're not talking about that, but was that rebuilt as well?
The
No,
roof was replaced on it, but
Okay.
it hasn't rebuilt. That's an adobe structure that hasn't, no.
Okay. And then I'm just wondering about the carports that were there and then the newer ones. Is the height difference? Is there any height difference between what was there and what you're putting now?
No, the height is the same because it was attached at the same height on the garage. And so it's the same height.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Are you, actually, do you have a drawing that shows the relationship of the height between the existing storage and the proposed carport?
Yes, I'm gonna stop sharing this and I'm gonna share the other photos that I had. Let me see, where am I? Oh, Desiree, could you share that other picture that I don't have right now, please? Let me see. Yeah, because I don't have that one.
Yes. Which one did you want me to show? The
The,
elevation?
the drawing, the elevation, yeah. Okay, so right now it's if you look at the right of the drawing, it's 109 inches from the bottom, from the ground to the top of the roof, and it was the same height. It was the same. It was attached at the same height, the previous one. There might be maybe about 2 inches difference on the left hand side where it ends, just because there is a pitch on it and it's longer, so it's a little bit lower. But right now it sits at 94 inches from the ground to the roof on the east side.
Any further questions or comments?
Just,
So I have a question. Again, this is Holly. So are we to assume that the city has granted you the variances of the carport and the storage? Has that been approved?
It has not been approved yet. No, we haven't received the final. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this process with the review board. I thought it was they were waiting for this review to be approved before they approved it from the city. But that's what I thought. Like I said, I'm not.
Yeah, that's accurate. So this is one of the first steps, is going through the historical approval. Zoning will also review the plans and they'll need a site plan to review. And they would indicate, any additional requirements, and then it will go to building, which would,
Yeah.
similarly, if there's any additional requirements. But this is one of the early stages in the process.
And so we do have the option of, at this review, of saying that we would support the variance.
Yes, yeah, you can, typically, if you were to put it in a motion, you would say something like, you support or recommend the setback as presented. It would be better if we had an actual distance to put, but
Like I said, I can get that tomorrow morning.
I had, this is Anita. I walked by today to see it, and it's very attractive. It looks as if the facade of that has been renewed a bit, which is nice, but it's a very
Mhm.
attractive looking structure. And
We try to make it as close as the house looks like.
uh-huh.
If you look at the doors that we put there, they're exactly the same doors that are in the house. Yeah, so we try to. Yeah.
So
Very
just
good.
for clarity's sake,
Yeah.
so the carport and the storage is sitting on the same footprint. Is that correct, as what was
Yes.
there before?
Yes.
It hasn't exceeded that original footprint?
It exceeded the footprint of the carport because we made it a 2 bay. As we made a second bay, but the garage or storage/storage has not moved. It's an adobe structure. Like I said, it's over 100 years old.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Could we have a motion?
Oh, Ilya and the El Presidio board, I just want to make a comment. And Hal brought up earlier that they haven't painted it yet. So when you make a motion, be sure you mention color,
Okay.
because I know that's going to come up in PRS, and it'd be good that we can get that information from the board this evening.
Okay. Yeah, I will ask. Miss Aiken was trying to decide whether it was going to be white, like the house, or like a stain on the wood. But I'll ask her, and I'll put it in there on the variance.
Well, actually, I was asking the board members to put it in their motion, what
I'm sorry.
color or tones they would like to see painted. That'll help you going forward, since this is a code violation. So color, setbacks, there is some issues that would be good to have some clarification this evening.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry, I just have one more clarifying question. So for that storage building, is the height the same as the original height?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have someone who is willing to make a motion?
Let me just clarify, does the motion need to have the variance approved as well
And-
as the color?
Yes, yes.
So, I mean, I don't think that we can decide on what color as in our,
We could,
right now it's wood and it's lovely.
right. We could
Um,
say that if we were approving this plan, that the treatment, the color would be either white or wood stain, that we would approve either white or wood stain, that we would approve the building as proposed with the accepting a variance for the historical setbacks from the original building.
Ilya, I might say that color is compatible to the building on the property.
Perfect.
I don't feel as though we can dictate exactly what color that needs to be.
Right.
Yeah, and just for context, the old cardboard was wood, unpainted. I'm sure it was stained at one point. But and so it's either that or the color of the house, which is white, which will also match. So it's you guys' decision, but I just wanted to let you know that those are probably the two best options.
So we could mention either both in the motion if someone would make a motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the plans as is with the acceptance of a variance.
For the set.
And the color to be determined in the future, but possibly coordinating with the house color or a stained wood finish.
Do you have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Any further discussion? With the amendment that we added, that the setback, the motion about the variance to the setback. To call roll. So, Juhi? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anita?
Aye.
Matthew? Matthew, can
He's
you
giving
unmute?
a thumbs up, I think.
Okay.
Yes.
Holly?
Yeah, I'm in support. I have to just say that because I see it out of my window, it does appear bigger, even though that's from my perspective. But if you say it's on the same footprint and the same height, then so be it. So I guess.
Christopher?
I believe he had to leave. He left at 6:10.
Okay. And Alex Oberlich? So I believe we have passed the motion, and thank you all. And Angel, thank you for first time. You did a great job.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right, and this is to the board. I'm trying to keep track of the minutes. Who was the person who motion seconded? I heard the voice, but did not know who that was.
Alex Oberlich.
Thank you.
And we have now the next review coming up. And I don't know who will be representing El Charo. And so if Jason, if you or Desiree can.
Yeah, I could go ahead and do that. So
Okay.
this is going to be.
Can I leave now or?
Yes, you can, Angel. You
All
have a
right.
good evening.
All right.
We'll be in
Thank you.
touch.
Thank you, guys.
He goes by
Bye.
Angel.
This is coming before you as a courtesy review at 311 North Court Avenue. This is from the Fours Architecture team of Richard Way and Jacob Shadaram. And I will turn it over. And Richard, you've done this before. So go ahead and share your screen, or I'll make sure that you can. And then you can go ahead and begin from there.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Dan. And again, I see some familiar faces on here. My name is Richard Way. I'm with Forest Architecture, and we are representing El Charro. I'm going to try to share my screen. I think I'm still disabled, though, Dan. Try it again. There we go. Hopefully, everybody can see my screen right now. And what I'm really just starting with Google Street View, because this is relatively simple. What we're proposing, what you're looking at right now, and you all have probably seen this for the last 5 years. This is El Charro's streetery, which was erected about 5 years ago under the city's temporary streetery program during COVID. And what we would like to do, El Charro would like to continue this operation and the operation of the streetery. And so what we're proposing is to dismantle this and rebuild it back nearly exactly as it is, but under the city's new Tucson Shared Spaces Manual, which was not adopted or even created at the time that this streetery was first erected. And so what we're proposing here, I'll share my, is these are the construction documents that we're proposing to build this back. And I'm going to zoom into the site plan here. And you can't see it. Oh, sorry about that. I was afraid that was what was going to happen. Let's minimize this. Can you see it now, Jacob? Sometimes when I use Google Street View in a presentation, it bumps out my my PDF. So give me just a second here, please. Let's try this. Shoot, I'm afraid this is going to happen. Let's close it. I'm going to go ahead and close the Street View, so I'm not going to be able to share that with you guys anymore. Actually, you know what? I remember the fix for this is to stop sharing and reshare my screen. Apologize, everyone.
I didn't get the text. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, let's try it. Let me try it again, you guys. I apologize for this. All right, you can see it now. So I'm not gonna go back to Street View anymore. Let's open up my plan. All right, so what we're looking at now, zoom in here a little bit. So anyways, can you see, Jacob? I'm looking at this. Yeah, shoot. Let's close out of this. And now can you see it now? We tested this out before before this, guys. I apologize because when I use Street View sometimes and Zoom don't like each other, and we thought that we had this resolved, and obviously it's not working. So let's try one more time. So anything yet, Jacob? No, that's the rendering.
We see El Charro now, Richard.
Okay, so what you're looking at is a rendering, but I'm still not quite, let's try one more time here. Let's close out of this. There we go. So let's try one more time here. There we go. Should be able to see in just a second. There we go. Okay, apologize for that, everybody. Let's zoom back out here. So this is our plan, and we'll pull up the rendering in a minute here. Zooming in a little bit, you can see here's the El Charro space, and this is the Toma next door, and this area in red is the streetery that we were looking at on Google Street View, and it is exactly the same dimension, 70'8" by 8 foot, as it's constructed right now, and it is exactly in the same location. I'm going to pan up here a little bit. This is an enlarged floor plan of it. Again, very similar configuration. We have a deck, we have railing, and the only, let me zoom up here a little bit here too. Elevation of it, again, the same spacing for all of the posts and all of the horizontals, and little section of it over here. Again, exactly the same, only we are incorporating some of the prescriptive requirements of the shared spaces. So I think really what's of note here is to explain what's different, right? So we have on the end of each of the, and maybe some of you are familiar with the street area concept or not, but we have some planters that we're adding here on the end. So these guys right in this part of the world here, we have a couple of planters. We have some a wheel stop for automobiles. We have a flexible protective device, and this happens on both sides of it. And otherwise, really, that's about the only thing that's different. I'm going to kind of zoom in here so you guys can see this. So again, these are just things that are going to appear on the street. But as far as the structure goes, it looks exactly the same as the image I shared with you on Street View, which I'm afraid to try to pull back up on my screen because it's going to freeze us out. At the end of the day, I think that mostly for the sake of this review, I'm going to see if I can get those little renderings to come up on my screen now. And let's try that. Try sharing again. You guys should be able to see this. So these are just very quick renderings that we did just in order to. This is the view that we were looking at in Street View, just to kind of illustrate that again we're building it back. Basically what was there before. I think what's important to note about this is there will be some reflective tape on the edge of the structure, but the same spacing, the same tube steel construction, lights on the top, the same kind of reddish color that we were looking at earlier that matches the El Charro trim work. And so that's kind of it, actually, guys. Really just replacing it with what you see right now with something that is neatly constructed and meets the city's shared spaces manual. So I'm going to stop my presentation at that point in time. Such as it was, I apologize for the hiccups, and I'll let you guys ask any questions or anything that you may have.
Thank you, Richard. Questions and comments?
Yes, thank you, Richard. I appreciate the clarity of the drawings, their thoroughness, and the clarity of your presentation. I have one question and one request. The question is, why are you redesigning it in the first place? What problems existed with the existing streetery, and why are you improving it? And then two, I'd like to hear you address how you've understood the historical quality and character of the neighborhood, and how you've responded.
Great, thanks, Sherry. That's a good question. I'm going to see if I'm going to share the street view back with you guys again. So the reason that this is happening, so the original streetery was under a temporary city program. It was erected fairly quickly, and it did follow some criteria that were put together, but again, it was like an emergency situation. And the city sunsetted the streeteries program about a year ago. And anybody who wanted to continue operating their streetery were being required to revise their streetery to be compatible with the prescriptive approach of the Tucson shared manual that I kind of put up on the screen just to kind of show you guys. It's like 86 pages long, and mostly what it is addressing, it is addressing safety issues, trying to make these safer for the traffic that is around them. And so some of the things that ended up being changed were, like I said, in this area here, there's protection from cars and planters to kind of screen the street. One thing that happened is you can see right here that there is access across the streetery to the street itself, and that creates a dangerous situation. So it was asked of us to close this off. There's also some situation where this is bolted to the street and it sits on the curb, and it makes it kind of a slightly more permanent. So under the new Streetery's manual, everything is very easily removable, and again, so that it would be less permanent than even this one is, and everything kind of floats, if you will. And I think at the end of the day, that also folds into this historic review, because part of the approach to historic is to not permanently change anything. So the idea here is that anything that we put could be easily redacted, basically, in the future. And so I guess from a historical approach, though, you can see, so the idea here originally, and as is now, is to make as minimal of a presence on the street as possible. So the idea is that this is very open, the very lightweight tube steel, and then it was painted to match the trim of El Charro. That would be how originally, when it was constructed, they approached historic compatibility, and that's the way that we were going to preserve it as well here. So I guess I can say that's how we're trying to meet the historic intent, is by doing as little as we possibly can to create a protected area for the people inside, a little bit of lighting, and keep it as simple as possible. I hope that answered your question. If I missed anything, please let me know.
Yeah. So as you know, because of your thorough site analysis, this is a very pedestrian-rich, pedestrian-friendly sidewalk. Could you speak to how you've understood and accommodated, or maybe even improved, the pedestrian experience? Not just for those who are visiting El Charro, but for those who live and work in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would say that it improves the situation any, but the intent, and I'm kind of flipped back over to, now that I've finally figured out how to navigate this in a Zoom call, kind of flip back over to this. Let's pan up to this without some better dimensions. Flip back over to my floor plan and site plan here. And so, the intent of the shared spaces manual is that it not, detract from the pedestrian thoroughfare. Not so much that it's going to add to it, even though from a historic perspective, maybe that would be the intent of this committee. So the important thing about this is you can see that the streetery sits actually outside the curb line, so that the entire width of the existing pedestrian thoroughfare is preserved exactly as it is, so that the same level of fluidity of circulation back and forth is not disrupted at all. And again, the idea was not so much to enhance it, but just to not lessen the experience in any way. And so it is asked of us to keep at minimum, a city standard is 6 foot clear. And so you can see at this point here, right here, we have the El Charro puts out some benches for people to wait to get into El Charro, and we had to maintain this 6 foot clear. These benches are actually existing at any rate. The structure itself sits back 7 feet, and so I guess the answer to the question would be that's how we're maintaining the pedestrian circulation for both the people that live here and the people who are visiting, to be exactly as it was. And if we were to remove this structure, it would be the same circulation.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, with the platform, there is also seating for people waiting to be served in the restaurant, which also takes more pressure off the sidewalk and pedestrian access.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I appreciate you reminding me of that. That was one of the requests as well, was to not have as many people congregating out on the sidewalk. And so we did. I think in Street View, I showed you this area right here that we're calling waiting. It was a table, and so we've removed that, created a little waiting area, provided the rest of the tables very similarly It has a couple of ingress and egress points onto the sidewalk, nothing onto the street. And again, just it turned out, and I guess the reason goes back to your original question as well, Siri, was that this was a temporary amenity, but Alchara felt it actually was enhanced the restaurant experience, and that people liked to sit outside here and even look at the outside of the restaurant and be out here. And so they would like to continue to operate it, but make it conform to some of the safety requirements that the city is requesting. And so that's, again, because it seemed successful as it was. We're not proposing any real changes from the way it exists. Just rebuild it back a little bit better. I guess I should also add, as far as the material, so this is slightly different, right? We have the same tube steel post painted the same color, but the original streeter that you're looking at, it had a slatted wood deck that is deteriorating. And so we're proposing to replace it with a composite material that is also one of the prescriptive deckings that the city would like to see. And from a historic perspective, though, I guess that's something that you guys kind of fold into your camp that I suppose I should bring up, as far as what, it's supposed to look like the wood, but it is going to be a synthetic material.
I have a
Any other?
question and a comment.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere on this proposed plan that indicates where the host stand would be? Because I'm a resident in the neighborhood, and I will admit that that's a point of compression where the hostess stand sits throughout the day. It's like usually right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is
I was
that an
about to say,
improvement that was
they
considered?
slide it in and out. Yeah, they move it in and out. Exactly right. Yes.
Is that a program that could be incorporated or was considered to allow for better pedestrian flow? Or is there room to incorporate that still into that streetery proposal?
That's a really good question. I don't know the answer to that because, that's an operational issue by Alchara that is somewhat independent of this. And I understand that what you're saying is, even though, again, this streetery is not taking up any space that the sidewalk already doesn't have, technically it does form a compression because it's a little more restrictive, than if there was just an empty curb and cars parked there. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something that again, this is, we're proposing this to obtain approval by the city of Tucson. And then from you guys, we're looking for a historic blessing. I don't know if that really has an exact historical, application or
Yeah,
not.
it
But
doesn't, but
okay.
if there's this
Yeah.
improvement being proposed, I wonder if that's something that could be part of the proposal, because I mean, I'm not familiar with the fire code, but as the architect, is that something that you've already considered, just how much space they're taking there? It's not a permanent structure, which makes sense that
Yeah.
it's not shown in this plan that we're looking at, but
Right.
I think it's something to think about with safety, which is kind of the whole premise of from the street side. But fire code, I don't know how they're actually able to have that stand sit there. Maybe because it's temporary, it's, moved in and out with business hours, but that would be something I would like to see if that's, something you could consider with the owners. Because I find myself
Yeah.
walking
Good.
around the structure
Yeah.
kind of. No, I love what you're showing here, and I love the business, that the establishment, and that it's historic, adds to the value of the neighborhood. But I do find myself going around the entire streetery as a pedestrian. And I think that's part of it. Like, I think the waiting zone solves a lot of that, but the hostess stand, there's always congregation happening right there. And I think that would be something that would um, be a nice consideration for the pedestrian.
I would agree with that comment that perhaps when I walk through there, I sometimes see small groups crowding around the waitress desk. They're blocking the sidewalk. I wonder if it could be incorporated into the waiting area where people would be off the street and encouraged not to, or they would be off the sidewalk. But, I do appreciate the added protection of the planters for waiting diners.
Mhm.
I
I'm
have to
very,
say,
okay, I'm sorry. Please continue.
I have to say that what I really appreciate about the design is that it is human scale, it is open, it does not block the view of the historic structure, unlike another streetery that looms and blocks elsewhere in the neighborhood. This really shows sensitivity to its sense of place and its relationship to the building. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're welcome. I wish I could take the credit, but really, we're just replacing what we thought was successful. You know, we didn't really want to mess with it too much.
Any additional comments, questions?
Just that I agree with the pedestrian problem with the sign-in desk there. It really is a problem. And I have a very small dog and I can never walk through there, you know, when they're having active restaurant hours. So it is a problem. I can walk around or I can cross the street. But it does bug things up there. But I do like the waiting area. I agree with everyone. And I agree with Ilya that the design looks great, especially compared to some of the other things that have been done.
Is it possible to either do something extending at the either end where you're putting the planters in, that the kiosk for check-in could be placed on in that area? Something to suggest to the owners, or whether it could be situated in the entrance to the entrance into Toma to take it off the sidewalk directly.
Yeah, you know, guys, these are really good suggestions, but it's outside my purview to make those kinds of add those kinds of conditions to this. You know, it was not a part of the shared spaces manual, as long as, you know, and it's not really a part of this historic review approach. We're talking about pedestrian circulation, and this is, I thought more about aesthetics and compatibility, and I can make recommendations. But I really can't, I don't have the authority to add this as a condition, I guess I should say. That's just, that's all I could say, really.
Right. But it would be helpful if you mentioned the concern that, you know, from people who live within the neighborhood and walk the street, to share that concern with the owners and possible solutions that they might consider and that would be appreciated.
Oh, for absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely can do that. And I know that, you know, that little, the host stand that you're talking about, I mean, they may have changed it, but I've been going to that restaurant for 25 years, right? And I feel there's always been something there, and I don't know whether it's been the same. It's almost like a part of the restaurant, and they pull it in and they pull it out. And well, you know, I think that the best that we could probably do would be to indicate that on our official drawing, you know, where it is as a you know, its location and its size, and then ensure that the 6-foot clear that the city is mandates is adhered to. So then that would mean potential that these two pieces of furniture out here that I'm showing would go away, and then the 6-foot clear that is a city standard would end up being from the edge of the kiosk to the edge of the streetery, and then that would achieve city standard. When we were bringing up fire code earlier, it's not as much about fire; it's just about the 6 foot is just the city's sidewalk clear that they want anywhere in the downtown area. And so that could be something that we could add to our plan. And I think that since we have added this waiting here, then our charter would be okay with it. Or else perhaps they move these furniture could be moved down a little bit, but that would be something that we could do. And we would label this as a temporary, hose stand that comes in and out. But the idea would be that when it's out there, we're maintaining the 6-foot clearance. And that would be something we would be amenable to adding to our plan.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Any further comments or questions? Would someone like to make a motion?
Elliot, just a point of order. This is not an action item. This is just a first review, so you don't need to make a motion.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Well, Richard, thank you for the presentation and the clarification, and we're happy to see something that respects its site and scale and proportions.
Thanks for everybody's time. I can apologize for the hiccup in the presentation. We'll get it down one of these days. Everybody have a nice evening.
Same to you. Are there any staff updates?
I don't have any. Do you have any, Jason?
No, I don't have any at this time, but I do want to take a moment. And Susan, could you please let us know at what time you enter the meeting so I can put that on the LER?
Oh, I'll have to check. Let's see. See if I can find out for you.
While that's being addressed, I have a question for this committee. So it seems to me to be able to really appropriately evaluate the historic kind of to really be able to evaluate a project's conversation with the historic quality. It seems to me that I would need more detail in terms of the existing, beyond just a photo, the existing material, the new material. He did mention, for instance, that the new material would be painted steel. And he did mention that
wood. Wasn't it wood?
Well, no.
Which
But I guess
which project, I guess, are you referring to? Because there were two conversations about painted wood and then painted metal, right?
Yeah, I'm referring to the second project, the one that we just looked at, the streetery in front of El Charro. My understanding is that it's existing wood guardrail, and the proposal is painted steel guardrail. The existing is wood floor, and the proposed is a synthetic composite floor. And I don't believe the color was mentioned. The point, I don't need to go over the review again. My point is, in order to really adequately evaluate the historic contribution or otherwise, I'd need more information like that.
Right.
What do you guys think as members of this committee?
Well, often when we get reviews, there is also a written descriptive that is presented with the project, and I was struck that that there wasn't with this.
This one is that, just as a reminder, that second one was a courtesy review, and so courtesy reviews can come at kind of different stages. Sometimes they are very conceptual, and that's why they're coming, because they want to get that early feedback.
You're right.
So the courtesy reviews kind of do, vary.
So if they come back to us then for a formal review, we would assume or like to believe that there would be a descriptive as well.
Yeah, they would just have, if they come in, they submit a building permit, they create a sub-record, they'll be submitting a full design package. So there will be a project description, design narrative, meeting all the checklists, and colors will be included in that design package.
Right.
So you will be getting all those details, but only once we get to that point in the process.
Thank
And
I think
you.
I'll
it's good.
also add where we are currently, staff is working on, we have our existing application, where we're kind of looking at that and trying to provide more detail. So instead of just saying, an elevation is required, kind of breaking it down what we need to see in that elevation. So I think it will get at some of those things that you're mentioning, Siri, and some of it's also just staff, like we're, fairly new. We're kind of at a point where we're trying to be consistent in our reviews, and we're going to be working together over the next, several months to do reviews and make sure that we're looking for all those details to try to get the best kind of packages, established before they come to you, so that, we don't kind of have a situation like we had today where we didn't have a full site plan, right, for the review. So that is something that we are looking to improve as well.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? If not, wishing everyone a wonderful, happy holiday.
Oh,
Thank you.
I do have a time. I think about 6:40.
6:40. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.